All right. Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you this evening. And I am joined by Michael Komaroff from Brooklyn. And we're looking at IPAs. Just kind of a last minute thing. Had a crazy long day at work and just got finished, actually. So ready for a beer. I'll go ahead and start with you, Michael. What are you drinking this evening?
This is from Flying Dog, which is in Frederick, Maryland. It's called their Great Job. It's a 30th anniversary beer, and it's a West Coast style double IPA. And I'm going to pour it.
All right.
And then once it's poured, I'll send it back to you. As you can see, it's very carbonated with a thick 2-finger white head. You want to pour yours, you can.
All right. And I am drinking from Sweetwater Brewing Company out of Atlanta, Georgia. This is their Hazy IPA. It's a year-round offering. It's 6.2% alcohol and 45 IBUs. I may have had this years ago. If I did, the label was different. They updated their label if this beer has been around for a while. I know I've had their regular IPA, but not sure about this one. Just really quick, I wanted to, let's see. I had it pulled up if I can find it. So 6.2%, 45 IBUs. They use 2-row malt, wheat, and oats in this. They hop it with Mosaic, Citra, Eldorado, Azacca, and then they dry hop it with Mosaic, Citra, Eldorado, Azacca, and Simcoe. And the flavor profile is supposed to be juicy, piney, and tropical. So sounds pretty good. A lot of different hop varieties. I'll go ahead. Well,
hello to Flacco in the chat.
Yes, cheers, Flacco. Oh, wow.
You got a little extra head action going.
An accidental Alex pour. Cheers, Flacco.
It always becomes beer, so it's okay.
That's right. Well, what beer is in there? It's not head. It is very hazy. So yep. I'm impressed by the appearance, and as you can see, there are a ton of bubbles streaming up the glass there. So it looks really good, and it smells super juicy. That's right. It's a very big head. While this is settling down, I'll go ahead and hand it back over to you, and you can go ahead with the aroma and the taste.
Okay, as you can see in the glass, the head settled down a little bit now. It's like a 1-finger white head, but you're still getting a lot of carbonation bubbles, which you might not be able to see in the light. And it's a very nice, clear orange color. And I'm going to get a nose on it. A lot of hops in the nose. Probably they don't specify which hops are in this, at least on the bottle. They might if you go on the website. But it seems to have your classic C hops, you know, your Citras, your Cascade, that kind of profile. Getting a little piney kind of feel as well, a little dankness in the aroma as well. After a nice nose like this has, time to have a sip. Cheers, John.
Cheers, Michael.
Wow. Okay. The alcohol is definitely toned down. Doesn't taste like a 9% beer, but it tastes typical. You know, this would be like a 6% IPA to me in the taste profile. You're getting a lot of the hops in the taste also. It's very dank. I don't know what the IBUs are, but I would assume it's somewhere in the 65 to 75 range. So there is a lot of bitterness in this beer as well. Medium mouthfeel. Very drinkable. And it has a lot of your typical West Coast IPA qualities. It's, it's interesting. We talk about grapefruit and other fruits. It doesn't really have any of those in it. It's more of the piney kind of resiny kind of dankness in it.
Right.
And Flying Dog does a pretty good job with their the IPAs they do have. I've had others before. This is really quite good.
Now remind me where Flying Dog is out of?
Frederick, Maryland.
Maryland. Okay.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's not too far from where the University of Maryland is. So it's probably not too far from DC.
Okay.
Maryland's a state that is very close to Washington. It's a small state, but it goes all the way from where my daughter went to college in Delaware down to Virginia. And Washington, DC was carved out of parts of Maryland and Virginia. But I'm enjoying this, and it's going down pretty easy, and I'll send it over to you.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, and that 9% sounds like it's masked pretty well. That's pretty impressive. I mean, 9% is getting up there, so. All right. Cheers to Bumpy. He's in the chat as well. So once again, Sweetwater Hazy IPA. And as you can see, the head has died down quite a bit. Still got a nice two-finger frothy white head, but definitely has that New England juice bomb appearance. It is totally opaque. Cannot see through it at all. It's like a light to medium orange color. The aroma with this right off the bat, as soon as I poured it, getting a ton of tropical fruit, definitely some tangerine, a little bit of mango, a light pineapple note, maybe a touch of grapefruit in there as well. And then a little bit of like a bready malt character in the background, but it's definitely leading with those tropical, juicy fruit notes. And it's 6.2 and 45 IBUs. I mean, you're definitely not picking up any alcohol, and it smells really fruity. It doesn't smell like it's going to be super bitter. All right, I'm ready to dive in. Cheers.
Cheers, John.
Wow, palate follows the nose. Immediately you're hit with that tropical fruit, some pineapple, mango. Then you get the tangerine citrus, a little bit of grapefruit as well. Nice bready center. You're getting the like white bread crust, a little bit of like an oat type note as well, which it does have. They do use oats in this beer, which also probably adds to the nice creamy mouthfeel, which it definitely has. Super smooth. Carbonation with this is actually on the medium side. It's nice and prickly. Kind of adds to the refreshing qualities of the beer with all of the tropical fruit and citrus notes that I'm picking up on. A little bit of bitterness on the back end to kind of balance it out, but it doesn't drink like a 45 IBU beer, more like a 30 IBU beer. Very low on the bitterness, with the bitterness on the finish, just enough to, like I said, kind of balance out that tropical fruit juiciness that you're getting.
Have you had a lot of other Sweetwater beers over the years?
Yeah, because I live so close to Atlanta, Sweetwater, we get pretty much everything that they distribute. Like I said, I don't know if I've actually had this one. I've had their regular IPA. Their namesake really is the Sweetwater 420 Extra Pale Ale.
Right.
You know, that's the one that really hit it off for them and made them a formidable brewery. But yeah, this one is actually one of my favorites. They have, you know, some pale ales as well. Their standard IPA is good, but it's more on the West Coast side of things. As everybody out there that watches my channel knows, I like more of these types of IPAs, the juicy, hazy, more tropical, fruity, less bitter beers. And this one definitely hits all the marks for me. It's borderline sessionable at 6.2. This would be one that you could drink a few of because it's low with the bitterness. It's not, you know, sticking to the insides of my cheeks. It's not building. So I could drink quite a few of these, I think, before I got sick of it and wanted to move on to something else. Those West Coast IPAs that the bitterness just becomes too much after, you know, maybe two, and I'm ready to move on to something else. But this one is, yeah, it's beautiful, nicely balanced. And I'm really liking it. Yeah, it's double dry hopped. I don't know if I mentioned that. So there's a ton of hopping in here. They do mention pine aromas and flavor, but to me, that just screams West Coast IPA. I'm not really getting any of that. Maybe a little bit of grapefruit, which some of the West Coast IPAs have, but that's about it. It's definitely more of a New England style IPA, and it's really enjoyable. I'll think of a rating here in a little bit. Flacco says, "Holy smokes, that bitch is hazy." Yes, it is very, very hazy. This is probably one of the haziest beers that I've had from a Georgia brewery, because they just, this is like right out of New England. I mean, it's really, really a well-made beer. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it. First beer of the evening. It's definitely needed after today.
Sounded like it. I got this beer out of one of the CoOps mystery 12 packs. So I had
Okay.
I had 4 different breweries, but 3 of each in 3 of them, and then there was the stuff I got from Stone. I had 2 of their delicious IPA and one that I'd never had before called Cosmic Funk Streak or Cosmic Punk Streak. So there was one of those and 2 of the delicious, and then something from Avery that was a Belgian style, and there was one more brewery there that was represented. Whatever. And I'd say I'd stop buying the mystery 12 packs because I was let down on a couple that I bought. But what I decided is, if I can't find anything among their regular beers that I want to buy, when you're buying beer for 88 cents a piece, how wrong can you go?
Right.
They don't have any light beer in it. It's not going to be anything that's not craft. So, I mean, once I got, some sorghum flavored beer from, an InBev company that they considered, I guess, craft, even though, it was one that InBev had taken over, and I got 3 of those.
They snuck that one in there, huh?
I was upset. I was upset. And sorghum and beer taste horrible. I've had a couple of them. They're bad. So, sorghum and mango to me don't go well in beer, but that's my own bias.
Right. Well, now some of the juicy IPAs, I noticed that, you'll pick up mango in those, but that's a little bit different, I think. When
I guess what I'm saying is, when mango is the primary item, I've had trouble with ones I've tried. But you can always find one, I guess. It as a fruit element, maybe I could find one that I like. But I'm enjoying this a lot. And
yeah, I mean, this has got, look at the lacing and the head retention on this. This is really impressive.
Yeah, it's really nice. So is this something that you can get in like every gas station, or just
pretty
in some
much
gas stations?
Mostly, so gas stations around here, I can buy singles of this pretty much everywhere, along with a lot of the other Sweetwater beers, like the G13 strain, their 420, their standard IPA, and there's one other really popular one I can't think of off the top of my head, but you could buy singles of those, 6-packs. The gas stations here have a lot of local Georgia craft beer that you could buy in 6-packs, 12-packs, which is nice, because we have a ton of great craft breweries around here, and it's nice to be able to just swing by the gas station after work. You don't actually have to stop in at a grocery store or go to the the craft beer store. You can get some pretty decent stuff. The Tropicalia that I sent you, that one you can get like 2 for $3, 16-ounce cans at most of the gas stations in my area. So it's a good selection.
That's an element I lose in an urban area like where I live. It's not like there are no gas stations, but they're mostly just standard gas stations and don't have, the added component where they're also selling potato chips and beer and whatever. There are some like that, but they're more, spread out, and we get those stations when we're going more in the, out of the city kind of thing. But there are some around. You probably could get some that sell beer. But I mostly have the food co-op and my local supermarkets, and they're probably, 5 or 6 supermarkets within walking distance. But a lot of times they have mostly standard stuff, not a lot of craft beer.
Right.
So, and again, like I've told you before, when they do have craft beer, you have to buy a 4-pack, a 6-pack, a 12-pack, and I just don't like the buildup, where you end up having multiple beers and not enough time to drink them. But that's just the way it is. By the way, it's funny, Bumpy's saying, because the Twizzlers now are gone, I threw it out, so it's not behind me anymore.
Oh, wow.
I guess it's been back there for years. It just got hard, and I ended up just throwing it out, and that's it.
Right.
But it's funny. I was on Jay's Dutch beers today, and Eric had his wild card Wednesday, and I went on at the very end. Didn't come on. I was just commenting at the very end, and it was the standard group that we're used to. Bumpy was on, and miscellaneous. I saw who else was there that I saw? Brian was on. James from George Washington Bridge fame. He was
okay.
On. So and
it was actually a pretty good turnout then, because I know Jay was worried that he was going to be the only one on the Dutch beers, because I guess he figured more people would join the Wild Card Wednesday. Just
the ones I'm mentioning were on Wild Card. The people who were on Jay's were BC and me. James from what's it called? Ron Sutton.
Okay.
Nina.
Oh.
And who else? There's somebody else I'm forgetting.
Was it Ronnie S? I think I saw
Ronnie S was on. I think that's it. There were six of us by the end.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad he had a good turnout.
And everybody did Heineken except Ron Sutton, who did Grolsch.
Okay. I'll have to go back and watch the playback. I didn't have a chance. My phone was almost dead, and I had it charging in the car, but it drains it quicker than it can charge it when you pull up the YouTube video, so I couldn't watch it. And Bumpy says he
went well, and
tried to get on Jay's.
It went pretty fast. All right, so do you want me to give you a number on this?
Yeah, I am ready. If you are ready, go ahead.
I'm going to give it a 93. So it's an A beer, but it's not going to be anything that's world class. It's solid. If I saw this again, I would buy it. But again, it's probably something that comes usually in 6-packs, and I got it in the co-op in this mystery thing, so I was able to get 3. So it's fine, but it's a good product. I like Flying Dog IPAs and their other beers, so I'm happy with it.
How does it compare to the one that I know you've had many times before, the Raging Bitch? How would you compare it to that one?
Well, that's a more of like a Belgian style. So that has the yeast in it, which is more.
Okay, I was thinking so it's not an IPA.
It is, but it's a Belgian style.
It's a Belgian IPA. Okay.
So yeast, the Belgian yeast in that makes it. That's just a little bit less than this. I think that's 8.3. So it's also a high alcohol beer. They're both well crafted. If I'm not mistaken, I gave that a rating pretty similar, maybe a 94 or 95, but similar.
Right. Okay. Well, this one here is really kind of blowing my mind. I was not expecting this good of a NEPA from a brewery in Atlanta. Plus, Sweetwater's kind of hit it big. They're distributing not nationwide, but they're growing, and their focus is spreading to other places, obviously other than Georgia. But this is one of the better IPAs, if not the best IPA that I've had from Sweetwater, and it definitely could hold its own against some of the true New England IPAs that I've had from Trillium and Spyglass. Some of the beers that have been sent to me from Bumpy and Brandon and Trish, it's not quite up on that level, but it's definitely getting up there. I'm just going to go right down the middle. I'm going to say it's a 95 out of 100. It's a solid A beer, and I think the New Englanders would accept this as one of their own. It's very good. Definitely fits all the.
It's similar to like the 6.1s.
Yeah, actually, this is a lot like the. So the Mind Control obviously is what, 8.8. It's a little bit stronger than this. This one's only 6.2, but it's got a lot of the same flavor notes. A lot of
that's hazy too.
Yeah, The Mind Control is very similar to this, just a double version of this, basically. Let's see, Bumpy. I have a Belgian IPA rated somewhere in the 70s. So Bumpy wasn't a big fan of the Belgian IPA that he had. And Flacco, yeah, Flacco gets Sweetwater out in Texas. He says, yeah, they're pretty good. So Flacco, if you see the hazy IPA, definitely worth checking out. It is a really kick-ass New England style juicy beer. So definitely worth checking out. Thanks to everybody in the chat for swinging by. I would have announced this sooner, but I didn't know. I'm not trying to exclude anybody. I just didn't get home till late, and it's kind of a last-minute thing. I wanted to join Jay's Dutch beers. I had a Heineken actually ready to go, but anyway, what are you going to do? All right. Well, we've given our ratings. You got anything interesting in the beer world coming up? Any
exciting going on? What I was going to say is maybe next week, if your Wednesday is shorter, we can actually do a specific one because I have all the stuff chilled down. The common stuff you sent me. I still have the Black is Beautiful, which I sent you, which you still have, and then I still have the Pontoon and the other big stout you sent me, and I have the. What was
I may have to make a beer run before then and get a couple more of the ones that I sent you because before I went on vacation, I kind of had that crazy night and I drank some of the stuff that I shouldn't have.
Okay, what?
So I have to get some more.
I remember that was 2 weeks ago. I remember.
I kind of lost my. I don't know. My nerves got the better of me. My first flight and going up to Boston and all that. So I kind of got a little crazy. And some of the beers that were reserved for examinations, they went bye-bye.
I understand. All right. So we'll try to talk. I'll see you on Stout Sunday, but we'll try to talk between then and a week from tonight. Maybe we can arrange something. John, thanks.
We'll figure something out. I can get a lot of those beers again. I don't know about the Fluffy Otter. That one sold out pretty quick, but I know I can get more of the BFG, which is the other one.
The other one was a coconut porter that you sent me.
Yeah, Cherry Street Coconut Porter. That one I believe is year round, so I should be able to get another 4-pack of that. So yeah, we'll figure it out. But I can definitely pick up some more beer this week. I got to make a beer run. Either tomorrow or Friday. My day tomorrow is a lot shorter since I saw so many people today and had to travel. So I'll probably make a beer run tomorrow after work, and we'll see what I can get.
So let me know what you pick up. Send me a text. Let me know what you pick up, and then I'll have a better idea. And keep in touch.
Absolutely. Well, I guess we can go ahead and wrap this up if you want.
Okay, John.
Gone through everything. I want to thank everybody in the chat. Thanks to Michael for drinking a beer with me after a long day at work. And hope everybody's having a good evening. We'll see you all on the next one. If not sooner than Sunday, definitely for Stout Sunday, back on my channel this weekend, 10:30 Eastern time. So get your porters, stouts ready and join us. All right. And until then, cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody. I finished.
You did. Must not have been too bad.